Didn't know what was wrong with me until one of these bad friends turned up and started laughing and said, "No, you're having a heroin withdrawal." I was in shock. I was like, no way. It's not a heroin withdrawal. I haven't been taking it long enough. I had a really, really good life. My childhood was fantastic. We would go away on holidays, camping and shooting, and yeah, we had a really, really good life. And I had lots of really good friends, and we did motocross, and yeah, we had a very family-orientated life.
I saw my daughter with a lovely family, a lovely husband, a nice home, and healthy and happy with friends around her. That's what we all want for our children.
Owning my own home was my biggest want in life. Children, and just to be happy and be able to give my children a good life the way I had a good life.
She was a good girl, but she changed. When drugs hit, that's when
Things change.
changed her whole personality. Yeah.
I was 28 years old when I started taking ecstasy. I was introduced to it. I was never anyone that was influenced by drugs at a younger age. It was when I was older when the problem started.
And I said to her one day when I did see her, I said, "What's wrong with you? Are you not well? You look very haggard today." And she looked at me and just stormed off and said I didn't know what I was talking about. And that's when I first thought there was something going on, and she stopped coming over to visit.
Well, we just sort of met a different crowd of friends. It just started off on a weekend thing every now and then, but it just became more serious with the more we were hanging out with these people, the friendlier we were getting, the more drugs that we were doing, and different types of drugs we were trying.
I knew all about it, but didn't know how to handle it, yeah. So life went on after that pretty badly, yeah.
I was just having a little bit every day, and I just had no idea that you could be addicted by smoking it. I thought it was something that you got addicted to when you're injecting it. But it was only a week, and I already had an addiction. We had a little boy. He was 4 years old, and he needed looking after until we could get ourselves sorted out.
I took Byron, her only child, away from her because she wasn't taking care of him. She wasn't taking him to preschool, and then she wasn't taking him to school on time. He was always late. He wasn't reading or doing anything.
On the drug, you don't feel that guilt like you would when you're off the drugs. It's when you're off it, the guilt really hits you.
I said something to Bill, nothing to do with her, and she came round the corner and misunderstood what I'd said and just started to mouth off and scream at me and yell at me and all sorts of things that I couldn't take.
You just couldn't get out of bed if you didn't have it on hand, and it was, yeah, you just felt like you became a slave. You're a slave to the drugs.
In fact, she became quite an animal. You couldn't talk to her, she'd scream and call you some of the most profuse names under the sun. And
my main remorse was my son. The years that I missed out on him and what I'd put him through, and you know, like what I could have given him, and it was just out of my reach. I just couldn't turn back time and make up for those years of the pain that we caused him. What got me out of my addiction was my son. My want to be a mother role in his life again, and show him that I'm not the person that he knew me to be, but I can become that person I was before.
No, it was not hard to accept her back because we wished all the best for her for all those years. We prayed that something would happen and a miracle would happen, and we wanted her back.
Everything I think about is my family. My family are the most important and all the things in my life. And I'm never going to lose that again. That's the biggest loss I feel, is when I lost the respect of my family.
So proud, yeah.
Yeah, she's everything we wanted.
We lost everything that we worked for and dreamed about. We lost everything. And we're sort of 20 years behind now, and we've got to start all over again. Yeah, we'll get there. It's going to take time, but that's the one thing I look forward to in my life, is having that all back again and having myself back again to the way the old Linda. Not the Linda I became on the drugs. That was a different person altogether.
Yes, I can see her in 10 years' time in her own home and raising these two beautiful little children she's got here. And the big son. Yeah.
I feel very happy. I'm content. I'm growing old gracefully. And I spent a lot of years hating myself, but I'm starting to overcome that now and be able to say, hey, it was a learning curve, and if I can bring anything to the table from this, is that I'm going to be wise for my children, and I will teach them right.